Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the next community day, and what we see here already is a Goomy, which is going to be something that most people actually expected anyway, so like not too crazy of a surprise, but Goomy is going to be the next community day Pokemon. We're going to take a look today as well real quick on what they potentially give this Pokemon, because it's not completely officially announced when and like what is going to happen, but of course it's going to be the next community day with Goomy, which is usually the June community day, the one where like the best Pokemon is kind of introduced. And so we're gonna take a look at what this Pokemon can learn, what this Pokemon might do for the meta, and so let's dive right into it. The thing is, we're most likely gonna have more clarity about this one tomorrow anyway, and so it's going to be kind of interesting towards then what we actually gonna get for this Pokemon. We're gonna see here already for the current variant. Goodra is going to have the current moveset of Dragon Breath, Awkward Tail, Power Whip. It actually has quite a lot of decent coverage moves as well, like Draco Media, Muddy Water. I guess Muddy Water is not really that nice if you have Awkward Tail available, but Sludge Wave seems to be an interesting one for sure that a lot of people don't know about. So it has quite a lot of decent moves already. It's ranked 28, so like it is not even that bad. For Ultra League it's a little bit lower ranked. I think it is ranked 43, and for the Master League again it's going to be a little bit lower ranked. It is ranked, oh actually 26 there, it's actually higher than I expected. So what can the change do for this Pokemon? And we're gonna take a look real quick on what kind of changes we can expect anyway. We're going to have Cerebi here with all the moves that this Pokemon could learn, and there are some that are kinda quite obvious. Could learn something like Body Slam of course, but I doubt this would be a community day move for that big dragon. There's the Hisuian form, which I would imagine going to be available eventually as well, but we cannot really take a look at this one yet. But there are quite some decent moves that this Pokemon could learn. For example, Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw is the most likeliest one, I would say. I would give this a 70% chance of being the move that this Pokemon learns. But even like a lot of coverage moves are available for this thing, so like they could even spice it up and give them, I don't know, like Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, or Iron Head, or like anything like this. Like there are a lot of moves that this Pokemon can learn, which would be kind of decent, but the best move that it could learn most likely is a little bit further down, and this is a Breaking Swipe. Breaking Swipe is basically just Dragon Claw on steroids. It is honestly it's just like a better version of Dragon Claw. If we're gonna take a look at moves real quick, if we're gonna see here the Dragon type charge moves, we're going to see as well that if you go by energy as well, we're gonna see here Breaking Swipe and Dragon Claw, same stats, but you have a 50% chance on dropping the opponent's attack by one stage. And it's a 35 energy move. And if you know Whiscash and how important the drop of the attack is compared for like the matchup in general, you know on how impactful this would be. And so we're gonna talk about today if Breaking Swipe might be the better one to go for or not. But anyway, let's take a look here real quick at Goodra in the Great League and see what it can do in the current meta in terms of the matchups. And we see it has an average rating of 464, and this is also one of the things why I don't really understand why it's like ranked that high up on the rankings so far. So I would actually not take the rankings for like too much of a indicator, because I also barely see Goodra. Like I know that Tua Bottas really has a lot of success with this Pokemon, but otherwise like I don't really see this too often. Now of course Awkward Tail on this Pokemon is kind of cool, but let's take a look at what Dragon Claw can do on this thing. Not Dragon Ascent, but Dragon Claw. This is going to be very interesting because as you're gonna see here, it's going to not do too much, and this is the thing that I kind of fear about this community today. Dragon Claw might be a little bit too small for this thing to be viable. And then like there's the other issue though, as you're gonna see here, like we're gonna get an increase of 7 and 2 matchups, which I guess is better than the Awkward Tail, but like it's not that much better because Dragon Claw is not a good move. Like it's an okay move, it is just not a great move. 50 damage for 35 energy, like we have 55 for Cross Chop and Awkward Tail, and also you have 60 for Body Slam. Like Dragon Claw is not a strong move in general. But if you're gonna take a look at Breaking Swipe here for the Great League, we're gonna see that this will definitely increase a little bit more. And there's one thing that I can want to talk about Breaking Swipe as well. This looks kind of balanced, right? I'm not too sure about it, because for PV Poke, every time that Breaking Swipe gets launched, basically it doesn't debuff for the first time and it guarantees debuffs for the second time as far as I know about it. And so the ratings itself are usually worse than it's actually going to be when you actually play this Pokemon. So it is very likely that Breaking Swipe might be even a little bit too good for Goodra. But let's take a look real quick in the Ultra League as well, and we're gonna see here it actually has a better rating than for the Great League, which I kinda find surprising about this one. But Dragonclaw going to be able to buff this up actually up to 501, which seems very fair. Not too overpowered, and Breaking Swipe would be able to get this even higher, of course, as it's just a better Dragonclaw. 518, which would be also not overpowered, but would definitely make this top tier meta. So it's the question for Niantic. Do you want to make a Pokemon just slightly better than before and just make it not really a big meta threat, or do you actually want to make a Pokemon, here by the way we have to change the moveset a little bit more for the Master League, because I don't think Dracomedia is really the play. Here we are see that's 522, which is actually quite decent. Or do you want to go ahead and make this Pokemon really like one of the best Pokemon to run in the Go Battle League? I would imagine that Dragonclaw is enough of a boost for this Pokemon. I don't think that the Breaking Swipe is really needed for it. But then again, like this is like the special community day of the year. Like always, like the June community day is like the pseudo legendary that gets like a cool move or whatever. And so I'm not too sure if like Dragonclaw is like too crazy for it. I don't think there's a move that this Pokemon can learn, which is like really a signature move for it. I know that the Hisuian variant has a signature move, I think, with like Shelter, which is a steel type move that just buffs defense. But I don't think that the normal one has like a one that is like a signature one. But maybe I'm wrong with that. Who knows? Maybe it's like some cool coverage move, like Poison Tail. If Poison Tail would come into the game, and would be kind of good, that might be an interesting coverage move for it. But I don't know if it's going to be really that great for it. Otherwise, here we're gonna see the comparison above, like all of the different kind of variants. We're going to have the normal variant in the first slot, then we're going to have the Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw, and Power Whip variant, and then we're going to have the Breaking Swipe and Power Whip variant, which you're gonna see here as well. It is going to be not too crazy with Dragonclaw. Like honestly, like I don't really think that this is going to be too great. And like there is one issue, especially for the Great League, which I see with Dragonclaw, is just that the water type coverage is actually quite nice, because there are quite some decent steel types around. And for example, against the Skarmory, you're going to do neutral damage. Against something like a Carbink, you do super effective damage. And yes, you have for Carbink, for example, still like the Power Whip available. I feel like I don't even know if Dragonclaw is always going to be a huge buff on this Pokemon, because I feel like Aqua Tail and Power Whip already gives you kind of decent coverage anyway. So I don't know, I'm kind of curious. Let me know in the comment section what move you would like to see on this Pokemon. We can take a look at the Ultra League with the exact same moves there as well. Here we'll see a different kind of thing. I think in the Ultra League it's kind of underrated. That's the Master League, by the way. That's the Master League, that's not the Ultra League. We're gonna take a look at the Ultra League afterwards. Here we're gonna see the Ultra League first. In the Ultra League it's going to be kind of one where Dragonclaw definitely helps you out against the Venusaur and the Trevenant, which does make sense, I guess, against grass type Pokemon, because before you would get walled by them. But honestly, yeah, I don't know, like, let me know in the comment section what you would rather want to see here for the Master League. We just saw it as well, real quick. It actually would be way better with, like, something like Breaking Swipe. It would be actually kind of meta, which is kind of interesting. So I'm definitely going to build one for the Master League when we have this community day. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It is a little bit of a tricky one to predict at the current time, at least, on what is really going to happen. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this one. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you're going to have a great community day with Goomy. Maybe I'm going to make another follow-up video tomorrow, especially if it's something spicier, but we will see. See you then. Bye bye.